How far is it?
4.5 liters at least.
Liters?
You must be a stranger. Since the war ended, we measured distances by prices on the black market.
I haven't been in Paris for some time.
You're not French, then?
No, by marriage only. My husband was in the resistance.
Oh, I'm sure you must be glad to have him back.
I mean, my husband was in the resistance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice Madame was in black.
How much do I owe you?
To our gallant allies, it'd be 2,500 francs. To a Parisian, 1,200. But to the widow of a hero, 1,000.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, miss?
Oh, you must be Francois.
Oh, madame. Madame Danges. Welcome to Le Fresnay. If only madame had warned me of the time of her arrival, I should have been at the station to meet the train.
Thank you very much, Francois, but you wouldn't have recognized me.
I'd have known madame anywhere from her pictures in the papers.
Oh, yes, the papers.
I think I should have recognized Madame Danges, because she is so beautiful. One moment, madame, I will call my wife. Hortense! Hortense! Hurry! Madame has arrived. Oh, madame must excuse my appearance. Monsieur Dominic would never have forgiven me for greeting you like this.
Oh, madame.
Madame, may I present my wife, Hortense?
I shall be most happy to serve you, madame.
Thank you, Hortense. Well, it's very beautiful here, isn't it?
Yes, it has been very empty ever since.
Oh, take up the luggage. You must be hungry, madame. I'll get you some lunch.
Thank you very much.
Madame will occupy Monsieur Dominic's rooms, of course. He would have wished it.
Yes, of course.
Here we are, madame. The room has been entirely rearranged on Madame Menestrier's instructions. Do you like it, madame?
Very nice, Francois.
The heavy luggage will be following?
No, that's all I got.
Oh.
Is this a dressing room here?
Yes, madame. That is, it has not been tidied.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It is a room of memories. Mr. Dominic used to call it the morgue. He liked his little joke.
You see, madame, Mr. Dominic many ladies loved him because of his work. He was so generous, so full of life, so understanding.
Yes, of course.
I will take them down if madame wishes.
No, please don't disturb them.
Of course, Mr. Dominic received many letters every day, many visits. But none of the ladies meant anything to him. He was always searching for perfection. For you, madame.
Thank you, Francois.
And this, madame, is where he wrote his novels.
Yes, at this very desk.
I have kept them filled in his memory. Have you seen his last book, madame?
Yes, I brought a copy with me.
Thank you, madame. Hell is sold out. It is a miracle it was preserved.
Yes.
We read about it in the newspapers. He has left something for the world to remember him by, but never lived to see it. You must be very proud.
I am.
May I place it with his other books, madame? Excuse me, madame.
Madame Menestrier?
Ah, Valerie, darling, I am glad to see you. Aren't you pleased that we insisted on having you here? Huh?
I must say I feel a little strange.
Oh, my dear, what nonsense. Who should have more right to be in this house than you? Who more right to share his success?
But is the book really a success?
My dear, the advanced orders are astronomical.
Astronomical, yes.
And on the first day, too, Mr. Jack Hilton for the playwrights, MGM for the film rights, the film of the book of the film, the serialization of the film of the book, and the notices, please, Sherry. You know Sherry, of course. He's part of the office.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Sherry, the notices. Ah, there you are, Francois. About time, too.
Thank you, Francis.
Now, don't forget, yours is with soda.
Mine's with soda.
We've been absolutely inundated at the office.
Inundated, yes.
We've got a party every day this week. The Paris press, the book critics, the provincial press, the foreign press. Oh, you must come, dear.
I don't think I really want to come.
Oh, my dear, I quite understand. You don't have to if you'd rather not. Oh, poor Dominic. If only he could see you now. To think that he never lived to read his press notices. Here's to Dominic, wherever he may be.
To Dominic.
Next, please. Danges, Dominic. Any papers? No papers. Another one. I don't know what you people do with your papers. Should ask the Gestapo. I'm afraid you're not here.
Oh.
Are you sure you were captured? Not merely displaced?
Yes, quite sure.
Well, how might I identify you?
Surely I'm not the only one without papers.
Trouble again, leave it to him. I was captured with him. Really, his name is Captain Danges of the Resistance. Dominic Danges, the writer.
Danges, the writer, eh? That one is dead, unfortunately.
Dead? Now look here. If I'm officially dead, no doubt there is some government bureau where I can be officially born again. But just now, give me some papers and let me go. I've waited long enough.
What you need is a birth certificate, Captain Danges. Fill in this form and take it to the end table on the right. Then come back here and I'll fix you up with a ration book, clothing coupons, travel voucher. Next.
Bonnie, Pierre. No papers either. I came back to identify me.
Few hours, I'll be playing the piano again. I can't believe it.
You will, Maestro, you will. Just remember that head of yours.
My head's all right. It's my hands that I'm worried about. Beg your pardon.
Better keep your hands where they belong on the piano. Come on.
I got to catch up on my address book. I'm 2 years behind.
Well, if you feel like a bachelor weekend, you know where to come.
Hey, Dominic, look. It's you. Hell is Sold Out by Dominic Danges. You're a famous man.
Out today? 500 francs, please. Well, he wrote it. You ought to give him a copy. This isn't a free library. 500 francs.
Well, I haven't got 500 francs, but here's a bar of soap, a pack of cigarettes, and a bar of chocolate. Well, that's worth 2. When did you write this? How'd you smuggle it out?
What?
And a photograph. This how you used to look? A cool delicacy of touch. Dominic Danges bears and enriches a woman's soul. Dominic, you've been holding out on me.
Huh?
What's the matter?
Come on, we'll miss our train.
Yes, monsieur? What is it you want?
I see you still haven't learned to shut the front door, Francois.
Mr. Dominic. Mr. Dominic.
Yes, yes, it's me.
But the papers, they said you were...
Never believe all you read in the papers, Francois. You see, I was taken prisoner. Killed, liberated, repatriated, anything you like. Well, and here I am.
Oh, Mr. Dominic, how glad everybody will be to see you.
How's Hortense?
Oh, very well, Mr. Dominic, very well, except for her lumbago.
Oh, yes, still her lumbago. Well, it's nice to see I'm not entirely forgotten.
Oh, indeed, Mr. Dominic. I have dusted it every day since Aunt Madame put fresh flowers by it.
Madame? What do you mean by Madame?
But, Mr. Dominic, Madame, your wife, she came here like an angel from heaven.
My what?
Oh, dear. Have you forgotten? Have you lost your memory? Madame, your wife, the sweetest lady we've ever had the pleasure to serve.
Where is Madame now?
In the drawing room. Oh, dear. Oh, dear me, please, Mr. Dominic, let me break it to her. The shock. He's been a prisoner of war. He's Oh, madam, he's alive. He's come back to us from the dead.
I think you'd better leave us, Francois. Who are you? What are you doing here? You don't mind me asking, do you?
No, of course not. No, you got every right. You must be wondering. I'm afraid I owe you an explanation.
I'm waiting. Who are you?
Well, my name is Valerie Martin. I was born in Sweden, sent to France to be educated just before the war. I was only 16 then.
Look, I'm sure your life story is extremely interesting, Miss...
Martin.
Martin. Martin. So you're not my wife, and we are not married.
No.
Thanks very much. And what, may I ask, is the point of all this fantastic masquerade? And this. Is this part of it too, by any chance? I never wrote this book.
No, I did.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't write it. You copied it. I've only read a few pages, but that's enough to tell it's a fake. Fake from beginning to end. I mean, it's my style. It's whole phrases, whole pages. Do you know what you are? Just a common cheat and a thief.
Just a minute. Before we start calling each other names, you might let me finish. I suggest that you sit down quietly. Have a cigarette and hear me out.
Please, come to the point.
You say that this book is a fake. I didn't copy your style deliberately. You see, by the time I was 16, I had read all your novels. I'm afraid I idolized you, both as a writer and as a man.
A fan.
I told you I was only 16. But I've grown up now.
Well, I'm very glad about that. But now, will you be good enough and...
No. No, you can't get rid of me as easily as all that, I'm afraid. You see, as a young schoolgirl, I wrote to you. You even answered me.
Look, I employed a full-time secretary. We had a standard reply for fan letters.
I also sent you a manuscript, a diary.
A diary? What was it called?
Just a diary of a young girl. Then the war came and I forgot all about it. I even forgot about you. Until one day, I went into a public library. Oh, I was lucky enough to get the latest Dominic Danges. It was very interesting to read my diary again, word for word, my own phrases published under your name.
What was it called, this novel of mine? Of yours?
Boundless Ecstasy.
Sounds dreadful.
I might have forgiven you for stealing my adolescent scribblings, but what I couldn't forgive was my discovery that the great Dominic Danges, my idol, was just a common cheat and a thief. You haven't got a light.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. But even if I did, does that give you any moral right to take my name and write my books?
Doesn't it? I merely decided to borrow your name for a novel I'd written. The easiest way of getting it published was to say that I was your widow.
How did you manage it all? I mean, about a marriage certificate, for instance. Or didn't a little thing like that worry you?
Oh, yes. Yes, that was very worrying. But no one ever questioned it.
Very nice. Very nicely thought out. But there are limits to imposture, literary or otherwise.
But I've done you no harm. I prolonged your literary life. You stole mine.
Nonsense, I did no such thing.
Madame Menestria says that your widow's publicity has helped your sales enormously. She asked me to come here.
Madame Menestria. Madame Menestria, I'll show her. By the way, I suppose we haven't any children.
Just 2 books.
Shh. Critics. We'll have to wait.
That's all right.
Leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not gathered here merely to celebrate the success of a book. We are here to do honor to the memory of a man whose acquaintance we were once proud to share. A man who we now know, had he been spared, would have writ his name large on the scrolls of literature, nay, on the very roll of immortality itself.
Couldn't read him, sir. Simply couldn't read him.
Your glasses, and let us drink to the memory of a great man, a great friend, and a great writer, coupled with the name of his lovely young widow, to Dominic Danges.
Dominic Danges.
Dominic. Dominic.
Yes, Dominic. Will you stop talking for a change? Not only have you fathered me with 2 books I never wrote, you've given me a wife I never married. You're coming back with me now.
Oh, but my party.
I say now, and you're going to get the girl out of my house by nightfall.
Sherry!
All right, I accept Madame Minister's story about my diary. She found it among your papers after you joined up. The title page was missing and she thought it was yours. I'm flattered.
I never knew anything about it. Never even saw it when it was published. I was busy with other things at the time. There was a war on, you know. But you deliberately stole my reputation and my name.
Do you children, it's not as easy as this. What do you expect me to do? Tell the world that he didn't write his best-selling novel? If you like.
If you like. Do what you please, as long as you're out of this house in 2 hours.
I've been waiting for a taxi for 3.5 hours.
No. What about me? My reputation. Neither of you seem to care a fig about that. And what will you gain? Think of the headline.
That's the headline.
And as for you, Dominic, you'll be the laughing stock of France, the whole world. You never wrote a book as good as Hell is Sold Out in your life.
In your life?
You keep out of this.
And as for you, Valerie, you won't be able to show your face. Your photograph will be splashed all over the papers. The adoring fan. I shall see to that. And you can both sue me until you're blue in the face. But in the meantime, if you'll take my advice, you'll both stay married.
I'm darned if I will.
I'll be damned if I will. Why should I?
But I've told you the book is selling in thousands, and money talks all languages.
All languages.
You
keep out of this. Oh, this may be your taxi. Hello, yes, speaking. No, I have no statement to make.
Don't you realize what you're doing to him, dear? If this
Yes,
leaks
it's
out,
right.
it'll ruin his career as a writer.
I said no
And
statement.
He suffered so much. He was a prisoner of war. You mustn't only think of yourself.
The situation is impossible. One of us must go.
That's quite obvious.
No, you answer it, Sherry. It may be your taxi.
Hello? Yes, just a moment. For you. No. Not you. For you, Madame Danges.
Hello. Yes, this is Madame Danges speaking. No, I've no statement to make.
Don't you realize what you're
No,
doing to
no,
her? Think of
first
her
class,
reputation as a
please.
woman. You mustn't only think of yourself.
As far as the money is concerned, I don't want anything the 2 books make.
Neither would I. I wouldn't touch a penny of it.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good. But the situation isn't nearly as complicated as you think, provided we don't act hastily. We must do nothing rash. I think we should all sleep on it.
I agree.
Dinner is served, madame.
Oh, and Francois, will you prepare the spare bedroom for Mr. Dominic?
Spare bedroom? But, madame, I understand you mean...
Don't ask silly questions, Francois, or you'll get some very silly answers.
Yes, Mr. Dominic.
Now, come along, children. We'll all eat, and then you can sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
You keep out of this. This is really going too far. Would you mind telling me what you mean by... thought I told you I wasn't to be disturbed.
Madam said that as you would not come and eat your lunch, you had better have some coffee and sandwiches in here.
Oh, she said that, did she? Well, tell her.
Tell her what?
Did we or did we not agree that you kept to your rooms and I kept to mine? This happens to be my study.
All right, Francois, thank you. I'll pour out the coffee.
Very good, madam.
I think at least you might pretend to be polite in front of the servants.
Kindly stick to our bargain in future. And leave that paper alone. Oh, the situation is quite impossible. I mean, I can't think, let alone work.
And what about me? Oh, Dominic, I assure you I'm only staying here until Madame Anessio finds a way out, or until the papers have forgotten about us.
And whatever have you got to worry about? After all, you've got a house, you've got servants. I thought women liked that sort of thing, playing the hostess. And by the way, a hostess doesn't wear slacks. Why don't you buy yourself some proper clothes, something attractive, a hat or something? After all, you're young, you've got quite a good... I'll do what you like. I'm busy.
All right, I will. Look, Dominic, I know that we have to go through this for a little while, but if you feel that you can't write because I'm here, if you feel that you could write better somewhere else, you could take a holiday. I'm not a jealous wife, you know.
Thanks very much, but this still happens to be my home. Unless, of course, you want to get rid of me.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. I didn't mean it like that. How do I look, Hortense?
Wonderful. Wonderful. He'll be enchanted.
Do you like my hair?
Oh, yes, madame.
And my dress?
His favorite color. He always used to say...
All right, Hortense. Are you waiting for Mr. Danges?
Yes. That is, I was until now. Dominic told me to call any time I was passing. If I'd known, I'd have called sooner.
I'll find him for you.
Oh, no, don't go. He's in the garden. The butler's gone to find him. And anyway, you haven't heard the story of my life yet.
Are you a friend of Dominic's?
Well, keep it dark. I hate the sight of his face. I saw quite enough of him when we were prisoners together.
I see. Well, I'm sure that Dominic will be very pleased to see you, Mr...
Bonnet. Pierre Bonnet.
Bonnet.
You mean he never told you how I saved his life? Well, at least that makes us all square, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, he never told you about me, apparently, and he certainly never told me about you. He just left me to read about you in the papers.
So you know who I am?
Of course. I must say your pictures don't do you justice.
Thank you very much. I'm not used to such compliments. Do you like a drink?
No, thank you. No, I'll wait for Dominic. It must have been a wonderful surprise for you, him just walking in like that.
Yes, it was. You must know him very well.
Well, you can't go through all that with a man and not get to know him. Not someone like Dominic, anyway. He's one of the finest men I ever met. Except, of course, for his habit of holding out on one. But I don't know why I'm telling you all this.
Go on. Tell me more about him.
Not on your life.
What about your life?
Well, oh, well, I'm glad you reminded me. Look, forgive me. I sound much more important with music. Now. I was born.
Pierre. Maestro, how glad I am to see you.
How are you? You look fine.
And you. This is the first time I've seen you in proper clothes. Come on, turn around. Let's have a look at you. Well, well.
Not bad, huh?
I think it's wonderful. Better fit than the old battle dress.
Yes.
I think this calls for a celebration. We must... Oh, I'm sorry. Have you two met?
Yes, we introduce ourselves.
Oh, good. Pierre will be staying to dinner.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I'd better go and tell Hortense.
Don't worry. I've just told her. I want to hear all about your latest conquests. Come on.
Will you excuse me? I'm sure that you two would like to be left alone.
Oh, no, of course not. Please don't go.
I'll see you at dinner, Mr. Bonnet.
Well, you're a lucky fellow, Dominic. She's a smasher.
Oh, you think so? A drink.
Thank you. Well, about you. Are you writing anything now?
No, nothing. I haven't written a word.
I read Hell is Sold Out. What a book.
You mean, you liked it?
I thought it was grand. I don't read many books, but that one really got me. It made me feel that everything we went through was really worthwhile. It was so...
Oh, good, good. You know, I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you, too.
You must come here more often now that you're in Paris. You know, it's good to have somebody to talk to.
Remember in the camp, lying on our bunks, dreaming about the Champs-Élysées?
Yes, the Champs-Élysées. And a few other things, eh? The good old times.
The good old times.
Yes. Now, what shall we drink to?
To the lady of the house.
Oh, the lady of the house.
That was lovely. Leave the curtains, Francois.
Very good, madame. Shall I dig up another bottle?
Oh, not for me, thank you. Where's Dominic?
In the study, madame. Would you like me to tell him you want him?
No, don't disturb him. You know, you play very well when you try.
Oh, no, I don't. No one could play badly on a piano like this. You should hear the old tin can I bang away on in the cafe.
You play in a cafe?
Oh, it suits me. It means that my days are free and keeps me out of trouble in the evening.
What's it called, this cafe of yours?
The Piroguet. If you and Dominic are in town one evening and you've nothing better to do, why don't you come along? I should warn you, there's nothing very special.
I'm sure I would love to come.
How'd you first meet Dominic?
Oh, it's too long a story. Our writing brought us together.
Oh, do you write too?
Just a bit.
Have you ever had anything of your own published?
No. No, not yet. What about you?
No luck either.
Go on, play me something more.
With pleasure. It isn't very often I get such an appreciative audience.
Playing when I came downstairs.
Yes. You like it?
I do. Has it got a name?
No, not yet. Tell you what, I'll dedicate it to you and Dominic. What should we call it?
How about, masquerade? Don't you think that suits it perfectly, darling?
Yes, perfectly.
Well, I must be going now. I missed my last train.
It's all arranged. I've had a bed made up for you. Anyway, the last train only runs on Thursdays.
Yes, of course you must stay, Pierre.
Well, if you're quite sure I won't be trespassing.
Nonsense. We're quite used to trespassers in this house. Aren't we, darling?
If you'll excuse me, I think I go upstairs now.
Oh, yes, it's getting late. How about you, Pierre?
Oh, well, I don't sleep very well. If you don't mind, I'll play for a little while.
Do, please.
Everyone does exactly as they like in this house. I'll get Francois to put a pair of pajamas out for you. He'll show you up.
Thank you.
Good night, Pierre.
Good night.
Are you coming, darling?
Oh, yes, don't mind me. You run along.
Yes, I'm coming. Well, good night, Pierre.
Good night, Dominic.
These are for you.
Me? What do you mean? They're all for you.
All mail nowadays is addressed to the author of Hell is Sold Out. And that's definitely not me. It's you. So I suggest you answer it. And this pile of books, all to be autographed. I think it'll be only fair if you sign them, don't you think?
Please, Dominic.
After all, I hardly know what the book's about. Although Pierre seems to think it's wonderful. You should feel flattered.
I'm very glad.
It was even more flattering about you yourself. Yes. I must say the new clothes are a great improvement.
You didn't notice them yesterday.
Seems that Pierre did. You know, I've been rather a fool and blind.
What do you mean?
I mean, looking at you like that, you're not bad, you know. In fact, quite attractive. A smasher, as Pierre called you, and he's an expert on neglected wives. I haven't been able to appreciate this bizarre situation properly.
Please, Dominic.
You will forgive me, darling, won't you, for having been such an ungallant husband?
But we made a bargain. Have you forgotten? Francois?
No, I haven't forgotten, but I've been neglecting you.
Francois?
You will forgive me, darling, won't you?
Did you call, madame?
It's quite all right, Francois. It's quite all right.
How dare you?
Dare what? After all, we must keep up appearances before the servants. I've only played the part of any loving husband. And it wasn't me who chose that part.
All right, Dominic, you win. I'm going. And I assure you I'll never, never come back.
Valerie, please. I'm sorry.
But unless you have a written permission from your husband, it's quite impossible for us to issue a visa. According to the documents, you are now an American citizen. Yes, I sympathize, madame. It should have been made clear to you at the time. I'm very sorry. Can I help you, miss?
Yes, please. My name is Miss Martin. I'd like to return to Sweden to visit my parents.
Have you a priority?
No. Do I need one?
I'm afraid it's very difficult to go anywhere nowadays without a priority. Have you someone who could vouch for you in Paris?
No, I'm afraid I haven't got any friends here now.
Yes, Feldstedt, Swedish consulate. You see, it's not only a question of visas, Miss Martin. It's a question of priorities. I'm afraid your parents may have to wait. Yes, put him through.
For how long, do you think?
Oh, it may be a month or two. It may be only a matter of weeks. If you leave an address where we can contact you. Yes, I'm holding on.
Can I use a phone?
Yes, it's over there. Yes, Colonel, we have your reservations for the 14th. Yes, Colonel Hofmeyer, United States Army Force. Yes, a sleeper for 2 and a double stateroom on the boat. Priority.
Hotel Perroquet, yeah? Who? Bonnet? Oh, Bonnet, Pierre, the pianist. He's very busy now. Just a moment. Pierre? Pierre! Stop that infernal din. It's for you.
For me? Me?
Another one.
Oh.
Psst. Listen, not so much of that heavy stuff, maestro. You ought to be practicing your poop-a-doop. Huh?
Pagan.
Me? Oh, I prefer Beethoven, but it's the customers. They prefer poop-a-doop.
Hello? Yes, this is Pierre. Oh, hello, how are you? Yes, of course you can. Where's Dominic? Is he with you? Oh. Well, yes, come round as soon as you can. Don't be too long, though. It gets rather crowded later on. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See you soon. Goodbye.
Pierre, you were going to tell me how you got that scar.
Oh, yes, the scar. Now, the bridge was mined with dynamite. Passenger train was approaching.
What happened then?
Well, the dynamite blew up and I was killed.
Oh, Pierre. That's a nice tune. What's it called?
Masquerade. Tell you what I'll do. I'll dedicate it masquerade.
Well, this is your room. I think you'll be very comfortable here. If there is anything you want, I'm always downstairs.
Thank you.
And later, there'll be an omelette. I send it up to you. Oh, Maestro, remember, only 5 minutes, then downstairs, poop-a-doo.
Louis,
Huh?
present for you.
See how they treat me?
Well, are you sure you're going to be comfortable here? This isn't what you're used to, I know. It's so difficult to get a room anywhere these days.
Don't worry. I know I'm going to be happy here. I feel I'm among friends already.
Gets a bit noisy, I'm afraid, especially when the cafe gets going. Till about midnight, anyway.
Good. It'll drown my typewriter.
And the gas fire.
Oh, Pierre, please stop apologizing.
Valerie? What's happened? You had a row with Dominic?
I suppose you can call it that.
Well, I don't know you very well, but I do know him. You'll soon make it up.
You don't understand, Pierre. You mustn't tell Dominic where I am.
You left him?
Yes. Well, you see, we were never really together. We weren't married, you know.
Not married, but the papers.
Oh, well, the papers. They're not always right. Oh, I do so need to talk to somebody, Pierre, but not just now.
No. We mustn't keep Louis waiting anyway.
No, of course not.
No, don't worry. See you later.
Mr. Dominic, I thought I heard the bell.
Well, you didn't. Go to bed.
Will you want me to stay up for Madame?
I want you to go to bed.
Very good, Mr. Dominic.
So you've really decided to go back to Sweden? Must you?
Why not?
Why don't you stay here for a bit? I could look after you until...
Until what?
Who knows? Besides, Sweden's a long way, and you might meet a handsome young Swede.
Oh, Pierre, you just can't resist it, can you?
Resist what?
Comforting neglected wives. Dominic told me.
Oh, did he?
But you mustn't forget that I'm not really in that class. Dominic and I, we were complete strangers. He hardly knew me.
Good. Then that means every man for himself.
Oh, Pierre, let's be practical now. If I stayed here, I would have to find some work. I'd like to be independent.
The author of Hell is Sold Out shouldn't starve.
That's just the point. No one else must ever know that I wrote it. It wouldn't be fair to him. I only told you, Pierre, because I know that you're his friend.
And yours too, I hope.
Yes, Pierre.
Arlette?
Yes, this is Arlette. Who is it?
I give you 3 guesses.
Well, where is he?
In the drawing room, Madame. Oh, Madame, I am so glad you have come.
Well, what's the matter? Is he ill? Is he dead? I've been ringing and ringing. I've even sent telegrams day after day.
Day after day.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. We are very worried about him. Mr. Dominic is not at all his old self.
I think he's very much his old self. My dear Dominic, how are you?
Ah, Louise, I was never better, thank you. How nice to see you. How are you? Where have you been?
You're a naughty boy. Here I am with contracts to be signed. London, New York, and Hollywood on the telephone every day. I can't even reach you.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry.
Since no one has introduced us, my name is Arlette.
I think we've met before the war at Cannes.
Really? You must forgive me. I have such a poor memory for places. Was it Cannes, sweetie?
Very probably, yes.
You see, we were so wrapped up in each other.
You weren't wrapped up when I saw you.
Oh, this is Madame Menestri, my publisher. This is Madame de Balzaman.
Just say friend.
Delighted. You staying here long?
Oh, I don't know. I've only just arrived. We haven't got down to such sordid details.
What a nice change for you, dear. Were you invited?
He rang me up in the middle of the night, poor boy.
Poor boy. Whatever for?
Perhaps he was lonely.
But Dominic, why on earth didn't you ring me?
Or maybe he wasn't as lonely as all that, were you, sweetie?
Sherry. I'm sorry. This is Sherry. Dominic.
And what do you do in the publishing world?
Where is she?
Who? Valerie. I don't know. She left.
This is terrible. If it leaks out, it's disastrous. Think of the royalties.
Dominic, darling.
If you'll excuse us, dear, we're talking business.
Oh, by all means. I never interrupt business talks. I find it all so extremely boring. Don't you, Mr. Sherry?
Oh, Dominic, you can't go on like this, wasting time.
I assure you I'm doing nothing of the sort.
But you must know they're clamoring for another book of yours.
I'm afraid I'll have to go on clamoring.
Have you settled your business, sweetie?
I was just telling Dominic, I think he needs a change. A trip abroad, perhaps, to,
A brilliant suggestion. Why not round the world?
Oh, lovely. Where shall we go?
Oh, my dear, if you ring me at the office, I'd be glad to make some suggestions.
By the way, I've been meaning to ask you, how's Valerie?
Oh,
Who's Valerie?
Well, Valerie is the...
Oh, yes, of course, she's your wife. I read about it in the papers. And, darling, I meant to ask you, where is she?
Well, I don't know. I haven't the slightest idea.
That's the worst of these post-war marriages, isn't it? Nothing ever lasts after a war, not even nylons. Was it the same after the Great War, dear?
Sherry, we're leaving.
You know, that is a nice tune. Why don't you finish it and get it published? Oh, you're lazy.
I think maybe I am.
You know, Pierre, last night, just for fun, I roughed out some words for it.
You did? For masquerade?
Do you want to hear them?
If you'll sing them. All right, here we go.
If it's all masquerade, tell me so. If it's love, should your heart be afraid? No.
Oh, Val.
No. Can you hide what you feel deep inside? Don't evade. Take off your mask. That's all I ask. Then I'll know this is no masquerade.
Bravo!
Why don't we do a double act?
I think we should, every night here in the cafe. And then we'd earn enough money to get married on.
Come on, Pierre. Our coffee is getting cold. You're looking tired, Pierre.
Oh, it's just one of my headaches. It leaves off.
Why don't you see a doctor about them?
Not on your life. Going to hospital and let you run away to Sweden before I get back. You can't dodge me as easily as that.
How did it really happen, Pierre? About your head, I mean.
Well, to tell you the truth, Val, I haven't the faintest idea. I was walking across a field to see a girl on a farm. There was a raid on. And the next thing I remember, I woke up in a German hospital. And that's the real tragedy of my life. I shall never know what happened. And you're the only person I've ever told.
Poor Pierre. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. Think of me as the hero I may have been. Well, it's my day off tomorrow. What would you like to do?
Let me see now. Oh, I'd like to find some green trees, some green grass, some fresh air.
It'll probably be cold and pouring with rain.
Oh, I don't mind. I like the rain. I miss the country.
You sure that's all you miss?
Yes, quite sure.
Only 6 o'clock. Doesn't anyone ever come here anymore? What happened to all the gay parties you used to give?
I'm sorry, darling. What did you say?
Well, you never seem to listen to what I'm saying.
And what did you say?
I said, doesn't anyone ever come in, and don't we ever go out?
Oh. No.
Darling, you've got something on your little mind. You're so changed. Well, we've all got things on our minds, but we don't let them get us down, do we? Otherwise, we'd all become hermits and wear hair shirts.
Let's go out.
Oh, darling, you're an angel. Where shall we go?
Dinner, opera, nightclub.
The whole lot. Let's get dressed up and be really gay. Now, shall I wear my black lace with the pearls? Or the scaparelli with the mink stole? Or...
See, I told you, boop-a-doop dollar exchange.
Over there.
Who is that?
A friend of mine. We used to be prisoners together.
In that case, he and I should have a lot in common. What is this place, a mouse hole?
Yes, sir.
Coffee and cognac. I'm told it loosens the tongue and keeps one awake.
For 3.
Only 5 minutes.
Hello, Pierre.
Hello, Dominic.
It's glad to see you. Come and sit down.
Thank you.
This is Pierre Bonnet, Madame de Balzamin.
Afraid I can only stay a minute.
Oh, what a pity. I'm starved for conversation. Dominic tells me you were a prisoner with him.
Yes.
Believe me, I sympathize with you.
Well, the first 2 years are the worst.
How have you been keeping, Pierre?
Oh, fine. And you?
So-so.
Well, what have you two been doing? Painting the town red?
No, just a rather anemic shade of pink.
We started at the opera, and after supper we thought we'd come and look you up. I rather like this place. What time do you finish here?
You're the last customer, I'm afraid.
Oh. I would have liked to talk to you.
Yes.
Perhaps a little later when you've...
When I've played a few more numbers, yes, I ought to go and earn my living.
Well, come back as soon as you can. I've ordered a coffee and a brandy for you.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Hey, Louis, who's the blonde?
Oh, I don't know, sir. Just a customer. Psst, Jack. Take that up to Miss Mallory and hurry.
Right.
Yes?
Evening, miss.
Evening.
Your coffee and sandwich.
Thank you.
Date's packed out tonight, miss. Oh, I've seen that chap somewhere.
All right, Chuck.
Good night, miss.
Good night. Why, certainly, Colonel.
Mr. Danges, may I have your autograph?
Excuse me. It's all right. It's all right. It's just a he. Maestro. We'll take him up to his room.
Better get a doctor.
Yes. Quick, get Dr. Monsieur. If he's sober, he's playing chess near the bar. And get the cognac, the special bottle. Oh, I think I'll get it myself.
Hello, Maestro. How do you feel?
Oh, fine. I'm sorry, it must have been the heat and smoke. Don't worry.
It's all right, we've sent for a doctor.
Oh, I don't need a doctor, Dominic. I must talk to you. I couldn't talk to you downstairs. It's about Valerie.
Look, don't try to talk now. Just lie down, relax. Later.
Yes, but I haven't seen you
Pierre.
since...
What's happened? Are you all right?
Oh, there's nothing to worry about. It just caused rather a lot of fuss, I'm afraid.
Could you give me a glass of water, please? I was typing in my room. I heard the music stop so suddenly, I was worried. Thank you. You just lie quietly now.
Come on, Doctor, hurry. The boy's sick.
Oh, these stairs. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Well, now, come on, let's have a look at you, my boy. Oh. Oh, wait a minute now, wait a minute. Ah, that's better. That's much better, isn't it, eh? Well, go on, off you go. Oh, you better leave the bottle and the glass. I may need those. Well, and you too. I desire peace to make my examination. Here, hold it, my boy, just a minute, will you now? That's it. Now, steady with the bottle. And we'll have a look at you. Now, let's have a look. Right, I'll take the glass now. Now, breathe deeply. Oh, wait a minute, my boy. Well, of course, it would be better if I had it in the ears, wouldn't it?
What happened to him?
I don't know. I didn't see. I just helped to carry him up.
Well, I hope it's nothing serious.
We'll hear in a minute. How are you, Valerie?
I'm very well. How are you?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why do you ask?
I often wondered how you were.
Do you live here?
I'm staying here. Why?
Are you happy in a place like this?
Happier than I was a few weeks ago. How is Francois and Hortense?
They miss you, I think. Oh, Doctor, how is he?
Oh, excellent. Oh, it's first-class stuff, this cognac. I know now why that old devil Louis won't sell it. But he will. Oh, yes, he will from now on.
How is he?
Oh, the boy. Oh, he's perfectly all right as far as I can tell. Pulse, temperature, respiration, heart, all perfectly normal. He's probably overcome by the heat. Sometimes get overcome myself. But with the history of that head wound, it might be advisable if he had an X-ray.
Can I go into him?
Oh, yes, of course, certainly, yes. Wish I could get hold of another couple of bottles of this.
Doctor.
The doctor said you ought to see a specialist.
Oh, a lot of fuss about nothing. That's what he said. If he'd listened to my heart much longer, I should have been overcome by the brandy fumes. He downed half a bottle. Where's Dominic?
I left him outside.
Dominic? Dominic, where are you?
Hello, Pierre.
Hello. Did you see the doctor? He's feeling much better.
Look, you must promise me to see a proper doctor. A specialist, huh?
That's what Val just said.
I think Val is right.
Now, sit down, sit down, sit down. Come on. It's been a long time.
If you don't mind, I think I'll go back to my room. Unless there's something you want, Pierre.
No, please don't you go. I have to go anyway.
Now, look here, you two.
Oh, hello. There you all are. Well, I hope I'm not breaking up the party.
No, it's all right, Arlette. Come in. Pierre is feeling much better.
Oh, I'm so glad. For a moment, I was quite worried. But it's the atmosphere, I said. I should be the next myself.
Oh, this is...
Why, you must be Valerie. I recognize you from your photographs. Though, of course, the papers never flatter us, do they, dear?
No, I suppose they don't.
It's quite a family gathering.
This is Arlette, a friend of mine. Well, Pierre, you better come and spend a few days with me in the country. It won't do you any harm. And you're always welcome, you know that, don't you?
I will. Thank you.
Yes, do come. We should be delighted to have you. Well, goodbye, my dear. So nice to have met you. Forgive me for dragging him away, but I'm quite exhausted after this unaccustomed whirl of gaiety. And really, it's past my bedtime. You know what these smoky atmospheres are.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Goodbye, Dominic.
Come on, sweetie.
That's why we here, representing the Joint Nomination Committee of the Federated Women's Clubs of America, are so very, very anxious to meet Mr. Danges, with a view to a lecture tour in America as representative of French culture.
From coast to coast.
With full guarantees, of course.
To give us the other side of the picture, so to speak.
How long did you say your tour was to last?
6 months.
From coast to coast?
With full guarantees, of course. It should be very, very remunerative.
Well, ladies, if you leave it to me, I'll try and persuade him. But you know what authors are.
Indeed we do, Mrs. Monestrier. Of course, you know just how important personal reputation is with us. We just can't be too careful.
We'd so appreciate the privilege of meeting that dear Mrs. Danges.
Madame Danges, yes.
She looks so very, very charming. Her pictures have been published back home, you know.
From coast to coast?
Oh, yes, she's very, very charming.
It's very important because Mr. Danges will be the first representative of French culture to address us since the war. We have to report to our national committee back home, you understand.
Confidentially, I'm afraid we know, of course, that Mr. Danges has sown a few wild oats in his time. But now that he's married, his personal reputation...
Personal reputation?
A man's most priceless possession, which scandalmongers and gossip writers are ever ready to smear.
From coast to coast. Quite. I think I understand.
Well, Mrs. Monestrier, we're all very, very grateful. Come along, girls. So glad to have met you.
Hello. Going anywhere?
Yes, sweetie. Nowhere important. Just out of your life.
Oh.
No, I forbid it. No tears, no entreaties. Don't try to persuade me. I hate scenes.
But Arlette,
How about one for the road?
I suppose it'll be silly of me to ask why you have come to this sudden decision.
Sudden? My dear Dominic, like most men, you overrate yourself.
Yes, I'm sure I do. In any particular way.
Well, in the first place, although I'm very fond of you, you bore me.
Oh, Arlette, I am sorry.
And in the second place, you make me feel old-fashioned, and that's insupportable.
Old-fashioned?
Everyone seems so serious these days. It wasn't so bad when you stopped talking to me. I didn't mind that. We both had time to kill. At least we were killing it together. But ever since that night at the cafe, when you suddenly started to shut yourself up and write all day, well, that was the end.
I'm sorry, Arlette, but you see, for me, it was the beginning of this.
Well, all I ask, my sweet, is that you don't write another of those depressing modern novels where everyone talks about life and does nothing about it. It needs a little action about the house to brighten life up a bit. I always thought that was one of my strong points. Oh, dear, another human document. And I did hope you'd base at least one character on me.
I will, Arlette. I promise. A whole chapter.
Good. Then my time here hasn't been entirely wasted.
Madame's jeep has arrived.
Oh, tell the Colonel I'll be right out.
Very good, madame.
No, don't see me out, my sweet. I don't think the Colonel is your type.
Oh. Well, goodbye, Arlette. Send me a postcard from Washington.
You know, the real trouble with you is you're in love with that wife of yours. Goodbye.
See that black fleck beside the right frontal lobe? There's no doubt that it's a tiny fragment of shrapnel. That's the cause of these headaches of yours. Nurse, pull up the blind.
Is it serious?
Sit down. What puzzles me is that with this history of headaches and giddiness and fainting, that you haven't been to see anyone about it before. Why not?
Well, at first I was busy making up for lost time. And then I was afraid, I think, of being told something I didn't want to hear. So I kept putting it off. But now I really must know.
May I ask why?
Well, I'll be perfectly frank with you, Doctor. I'm in love with someone and I want to ask her to marry me. Well, that wouldn't be fair without knowing what I've got to look forward to. Or whether I can look forward to anything at all. Can they operate?
Certainly. Of course, we don't know how close it may be to the optic nerve.
What are my chances?
Oh, about 1 in 1,000.
You mean...
I mean, young fellow, that you're not going blind or anything else, provided you don't neglect it and have it seen to. I'm sorry if it's a shock to you to have to go on living, but you'll just have to put up with it. Mind you, I don't know what the chances are of her saying yes. See Mr. Bonnet out. Goodbye. Good luck.
Doctor, thank you very much indeed.
Mr. Bonnet, don't forget your medical card.
To the Hotel Perroquet, Louis, Jacques, and Pierre. And thanks for the nicest birthday party I ever had in my life. Thank you all very, very much. 10 candles. Wherever did you get them?
Each one has to count for 2.
You flatter me, Louis.
Now you have to blow them out.
Yes, and all with one blow. Come on.
Yes, one blow, and you get your wish within a year. Bravo! Sorry, madame, the cafe is closed.
Don't be ridiculous. Valerie. It's all right, Louis. They're friends of mine. May I introduce Pierre, Madame Ministria, Sherry, Louis, and Jacques?
I'm sorry to interrupt your party, but I simply had to come and speak to you on a matter of the very greatest importance.
Excuse me, I have to see to the... excuse me.
I've come to ask you a favor, a very great favor. It'll make all the difference to Dominic.
Go on.
Will you come back to La Fresnay for one night and act as hostess at a very important dinner?
Surely he's got other hostesses to choose from.
If you mean Madame de Balzaman, she's gone. He is alone.
Surely not for long.
But this is really important. He has the chance of going to America for 6 months. I've arranged a dinner party. It's essential that you should be there.
I see.
I thought you would. Then tomorrow evening, La Fresnay.
I'm sorry, I would so much like to help you, but the answer is no.
But you can't refuse.
My answer is still no. Will you please excuse me now?
You're a friend of Dominic's, Mr.
Bonnet.
Can't you persuade her?
I'm afraid the decision's entirely up to Valerie. Remember me to Dominic when you see him. Tell him I'm very sorry.
Come along, Sherry.
Yes?
Well, may I come in?
Yes, Pierre, of course.
Why, Val, what's the matter?
I'm sorry, it's so silly of me.
Oh, Val.
I'm afraid I spoiled the birthday party.
Val, it wasn't your fault. Oh, don't cry. Please don't cry. There's nothing to cry about, nothing at all.
Pierre, I really don't know what I'd do without you. Please tell Louis and Jacques I'm sorry. I'll be all right soon.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Oh, Dominic, don't go to sleep. Don't you want to go to America?
The further from this fast, the better. California, here I come.
Well, don't you be too certain. If Valerie had come, perhaps.
You had no right to ask her. I'm not in the least surprised that you refused.
Oh, Dominic, for goodness sake. These ladies are most important. We must think of the American market.
How many are there in this circus?
4.
What age group?
Oh, that's quite beside the point. What does it matter how old they are? They control the atom bomb. Oh, Sherry, for heaven's sake, behave yourself.
I expect it was the ice in the cocktails. It came from the fishmongers.
Dominic.
Good evening. Mr. Dange is expecting us.
Oh, very frank.
Oh, Mr. Dange.
Ah, ladies, I'm so glad you got here safely.
So very, very privileged.
How do you do?
This is Mrs. Irma Reinhardt, Mrs. Eunice Reinhardt, and Mrs. Montfort Cole.
Julia.
And this is Sherry.
What a charming name.
Sure, my dear. And this is Honeychild, our guardian angel.
I'm afraid Mrs. Dange.
Ah,
How charming.
so elegant.
Please forgive me, will you? I'm so sorry I wasn't downstairs to welcome you when you arrived. But I hope my husband's been looking after you. Have you, darling? Would you like to go upstairs now and powder your noses?
To the little girl's room. Thank you.
This way, please.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Dange. It's really such a great pleasure to have you here. I hope your journey won't be too tiring.
I do so adore French cooking.
Good. I'm delighted that you enjoyed the dinner.
Irma, dear.
And do you do All In Wrestling too, Mr. Sherry? I'm just crazy about All In. To watch, I mean.
And you should have seen what they said about his book in the Stamford Times. It was really very, very flattering.
Gee, a whole viaduct? And is that how you got your wound?
Well, remind me to tell you the whole story later.
Excuse me while I pour the coffee. Sherry, please sit down.
Thank you. What a charming room. Such atmosphere. Oh, look at those lovely logs.
Well, I declare, just like they have in Vermont.
Yes, Dominic saws them all himself, doesn't he, Val?
Why, so does Elmer. But of course, he isn't an author. He's in real estate.
Your little wife's a real treasure, Mr. Danges.
A perfect hostess.
So rare in this war-torn world. How long have you two darlings been married?
Well, let me see.
Oh, it only seems like yesterday, doesn't it, darling?
We just can't wait to hear your views on marriage, Mr. Dange. American women have gotten the wrong idea of things over in France.
I'm sure Dominic would be very glad to put that right, wouldn't he, Val?
Wouldn't you, dear?
Oh, thank you, Francois. Sherry, for goodness sake, behave yourself.
You remember that passage in your book, Mr. Dange, about the girl and the potatoes?
Why, yes, of course.
Where the 4 young soldiers are hiding in the apple orchard. And the apple blossom is falling.
Yes.
And the young girl appears and asks them to plant her potatoes.
That's right, dear.
Well?
What was her reason? We argued about it on the boat.
Yes, what was her reason, Dominic?
I thought it was to save their lives. In farm clothes, the Germans wouldn't find them, surely.
I thought it was psychological. The girl was worried about their state of mind. By giving them work to do, she wanted to save them from the abyss of despair.
Sure, my dear. Let Mr. Dange tell us.
She merely wanted her potatoes planted. Didn't she, darling?
Yes, I suppose so.
How cute. Well, girls, if you'll just excuse us for a moment, Mr. Dange.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. We're always glad to help a friend in need, aren't we, Val?
Well, I'm not going on with this.
Dominic.
Well, Mr. Dange, we have a very happy announcement to make. I'd like to tell you that though we're not plenipotentiary, of course, we feel sure that our national committee back home will be only too pleased to accept our unanimous recommendation that you should be our chief speaker this fall.
From coast to coast.
Why, you're practically on the boat already, you dear things.
Congratulations, I'm delighted.
I'm so glad, Dominic, I really am.
This is wonderful news. You're practically on the boat, so Mrs. Reinhardt says. Kiss him, darling. Sweet things, aren't they, the dears? Kiss him.
One moment. All this is extremely kind of you, but there happens to be just one little thing you have overlooked.
Oh? And what is that, Mr. Dange?
That I did not write Hell is Sold Out.
You didn't?
No, she did.
Oh. Clever little thing.
And there is one more thing. My wife and I are not married.
Not married?
Not married?
Not married?
Not married.
Ladies, ladies. Well, I better go and put my coat on.
Valerie, please. Don't go just yet. Come into the study for a moment. I'd like to talk to you.
I'm sorry, Dominic, but I came here tonight to give you some help, and you threw it in my face. There's nothing more to be said.
Oh, Valerie, just a minute. We can't leave like this.
Thank you. Oh, do sit down, for goodness sake. This isn't a funeral. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you very much for coming here tonight. Valerie particularly. You know, Valerie,
Don't thank me, thank Pierre. He said it was my duty.
Oh, I'm most grateful. And I'm sorry if I've embarrassed you in any way, but I think all this was long overdue.
But, Dominic, why did you have to do it just then? What'll happen if it gets into the papers?
Don't worry, I propose issuing a formal statement to the press tomorrow, announcing the real author of Hell is Sold Out. I'm sure you have no objection, Valerie.
And what'll happen to you, Dominic?
Maybe I'll survive. I can always write under an assumed name, can't I? And what are you going to do, Valerie?
I'm going back to Sweden.
Oh.
I've been trying to persuade Pierre to spend Christmas with us. I want to teach him to ski.
How nice for you both. Shall we have a drink on it?
I'll go up and get my things.
You'll have a drink, won't you, Pierre?
Thank you.
Would you mind telling me why you asked her to come here tonight?
For you? It may seem strange, Dominic, but we were both very concerned about you. Val really wanted to come tonight.
Oh, did she? Well, I'm sure you know much more about her than I do.
Maybe I do. But then I've taken the trouble to find out about her.
Of course, I forgot. It's rather in your line, isn't it? So you think I've treated her badly?
I think you've humiliated her. From the moment she agreed to stay in this house, and she did that for you, you know. I don't know what happened between you to make her run away, but you must have hurt her terribly. And even in spite of that, she made me promise never to tell anyone about Hell is Sold Out. And if you think she did that for anyone except you, you're a fool.
Well, then I think I did something for her tonight. Tomorrow she'll be a famous author, and quite free.
You sure you did that for her? And not to ease your own conscience?
Ah, now we're talking about conscience. Suppose yours is quite clear.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. You made a dead set at her the moment you first saw her. And you came here tonight to make a fool of me. Or perhaps you brought her here for my blessing, so you could go to Sweden with her. Skiing. I suppose you're both doing that for me.
I'm doing nothing for you, Dominic.
So you're doing it for her. Do you love her?
Do you?
I asked you a question. Do you love her? Do you?
Yes, I do.
Are you going to marry her? Answer my question. Are you going to marry her?
I haven't asked her.
You're a very lucky man, Maestro. We never had our drink, did we?
Pierre, let's go.
Val, please.
But...
Val, it's all right. He's not there. Just a minute, please.
Anything the matter?
There's something I think you ought to see. To Valerie. Without whom there is no beauty and no love. He loves you, Val.
Pierre, let's go.
Val, he loves you, he told me.
Please, please, Pierre, let's...
Val, you must listen to me. Do you really believe you can be any happier by running away to Sweden? Just because you're further from him?
Why are you saying this to me, Pierre?
Because I want you to be happy.
You're not in love with me by any chance, are you?
No, Val, I'm not. For a time I thought I was. It's very easy to think you're in love. Especially with someone like you. We were thrown together, we were good friends. I mean, we are good friends. Let's keep it like that.
I can't understand why I am not in love with you, Pierre.
Well, maybe one day I'll tell you.
Francois, would you care to do me a great favor?
Anything, Mr. Dominic.
Go to bed.
Very good, Mr. Dominic.
Would you care to do me a great favor?
Anything, madame.
Go to bed.
Very good, madame.
Is Pierre gone?
Yes.
Poor Pierre.